It's been a while. I've been meaning to update a little bit because I actually started grad school this semester while working full-time. My company has a program to pay for graduate studies if you work there for a certain amount of time, which is super cool. I wanted to take advantage of it, studying human factors, which is kind of like UX, psychology stuff. Basically how people interact with products from both a cognitive and physical perspective. I'm taking 2 classes this semester. It's a lot of work, and also I had to kind of relearn how to study for school because I haven't been in college in like 6 years or something. So yeah, I've just been a little busy. So here we are today. I have an announcement that's super cool and is probably the reason that you clicked on this video, and it's that I am going to be moving to Japan next year. Yeah, that was pretty big news. So let me just rewind a little bit. The company I work for is owned by a really big Japanese company. I didn't know that when I originally applied for the company that I work for right now. Just happened to find out after I already started working there. So yeah, just kind of happenstance. So as you might imagine, there's collaboration between the different companies that this larger company owns, and one of the things that they've been doing is these global exchange programs so that each of the different sister companies can learn from each other and kind of share not only our technical knowledge in the jobs that we do, but also even like cultural things and kind of how we do business. And so there are people who go that are engineers like myself, but there's also less technical and more like high level strategy and management roles. But yeah, so I'm gonna be living in Japan for at least 1 year. Technically, there's an option to extend. We'll see how that goes, but I'll be in Japan at least for 1 year, and that's probably gonna start around April or so. I might try to go early for the cherry blossoms. So I'm very excited. I'm actually going to Japan December, so next month as of the time of recording this video. So I'm sure I'll be posting about that as well. But for now, I wanted to kind of celebrate that and kind of have like a little chat while unboxing a sakura box that I ordered. And it's not gonna be like a mukbang or anything. I'm not gonna eat them all right now, but more of just like a casual catch-up chat, unbox kind of thing. I'm drinking some jasmine pearl tea while I'm unboxing this. I know sakura usually does come with tea as well, but I am thirsty and I like having a nice warm drink in my not sponsored Ember mug, which I've been really into, especially for when I'm working or studying and I just want to have tea that stays warm the whole time. It's been really nice. They're kind of expensive, but like, it's a good gift. All right, so we have the trusty little cloud knife. Still have to open the box. So I did order the 6-month subscription. It's roughly 6 months until I'm gonna be in Japan anyway, so, you know, there's no point in ordering it for longer than that. All right, when you open the box, this is what it looks like. We have the gift on top, and then we have the box. So this is the gift. Maybe I'll set this aside for now. Ooh, tight fit. This is the box, and since they put it inside the other box, aside from, you know, getting crinkled a little bit from the box getting crushed, it's actually in very good shape. The box for November 2024 in collaboration with Ishikawa Prefecture, which before this I honestly didn't know that much about Ishikawa. So that's one of the things that I was interested in learning about with Sakura is just like different regions of Japan, cultural events and things that I might not have known. There's always more to learn, and so that's what gets me really excited about things like this. And so if you didn't know, Ishikawa Prefecture was one of the places that was devastated by an earthquake in January this year. You can see it kind of in the packaging with the little heart that they're really trying to support their prefecture with this box this month, which I think is great. It's a good opportunity for everyone. I think it's a win-win-win. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what's in here. It has a nice seal on here with the Sakura logo. I'll give you guys the first look. First, there's like a postcard. On the back, there's a letter from the founder. By enjoying these treats, you're directly supporting artisans as they work to rebuild their lives and businesses. Thank you for being part of this journey and for helping restore the beloved communities of Noto. I think that's really nice. And I mean, the postcard itself is actually very beautiful too, so that'll be nice to keep. It has a booklet that's a guide to all of the treats. Here's what the box looks like under all of that. Hopefully I don't drop anything. In my upcoming trip in December, I'm not really spending too much time in Tokyo actually, because this is a trip that I'm going to mostly for work. And so my husband's not coming with me, and my thought was like, I don't want to do all the touristy things by myself. Like I want to enjoy them with someone else. So for this trip, I picked things that I wanted to do aside from the business stuff, obviously, that my husband wouldn't want to do because it's like not something he's interested in. The first thing I'm doing is going to Hakone, which if you're not familiar with it, it's a very famous onsen region where they have an active volcano and you can get the black onsen eggs there, and you can actually see Mount Fuji really well from pretty much everywhere in Hakone. So I'm really excited to do that and just like relax by myself, go to the onsen, try the public onsen as well, which obviously I can't do with my husband anyway, so why not? Then I'm gonna go to Nagoya, which is where my business things are, see around there as well, and then go to Kyoto for a few days where I'm gonna do a lot of kind of like cultural immersion things. Like if you happen to follow me on other places of the internet, you might have seen that I was making a Koto simulator in VR, and so I'm actually getting a Koto lesson in kimono in Kyoto, which I'm super excited about, and I'm seeing if I can find a Koto teacher where I'm going to be staying so I can continue lessons, because it's just an instrument that I'm like really interested in, and I think it'd be like a fun hobby to do while I'm in Japan, because it's one of those things where it's like I can probably only do that when I'm living in Japan. So yeah, just doing a lot of that cultural stuff, and I'll spend like one day in Tokyo before I fly back to the US. So yeah, looking forward to all of that, and as I said, it's all about the cultural stuff, so let's go through this together. Yeah, they have a picture of some of the earthquake damage as well, which really puts it into context, right? You know, you always see pictures of these like really beautiful Japanese style homes and buildings, and then you see them devastated, and it really makes you think, glad that you can support people that are in this region through that tragedy, even in a small way, by just continuing to buy their wares. So I think that's really nice. And then they have some different highlights of different makers that are in the region as well. I think what I'll do is just kind of like pick snacks out of the box and then read about it. First thing that I saw in the box, there's 2 flavors of them. So these 2 are cocoa and plain ruby Roman wafers. These wafers capture the flavor of Japan's premium ruby Roman grapes. I'm kind of curious to try these, because like I don't think I've ever had a wafer that has like grape in it. Oh yeah, it definitely smells like grape. It slightly smells like artificial grape, but also not. Like, I don't know if it'll refocus. There's like this thin layer on the top that seems like it's grape, and then there's maybe like a cream one at the bottom. That's interesting. I feel like I wouldn't have picked that out myself. Not because I don't like grape, but like I just don't think I would have thought to choose something like that. So I think that's very interesting. Next we have this yuzu senbei. I've been kind of getting into senbei lately because I tried this senbei that I bought from their store while I was waiting for this box to ship. It had different little shapes and different flavors of senbei all in like one serving pack. And it was just so good. And like, I haven't tried that many different senbei, so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, this one is the yuzu senbei. That's what they look like. They're kind of like curled up. Each crisp senbei is infused with the refined citrus notes of yuzu, delivering a unique, savory, and flavorful snack. I'm not gonna try these right now, but that sounds very interesting. Like, I don't think I've had any senbei that were like citrusy. Very curious to see how that tastes. But they have other senbei as well. This one is a sesame senbei. There was a shrimp senbei. I think it's this one. Ebi. Yeah. This packaging is really pretty too. There's a shrimp flavored senbei. I'm guessing it probably tastes similar to like a shrimp cracker. I used to eat those a lot when I was a kid. And this shrimp one is shaped like a flower, like this. So that's cool. Very pretty. So those 3 are the senbei, and then there's kombu arare and shrimp arare. Oh my gosh, they're very cute. These ones. So we have the pink one is the shrimp, the green one is the kombu. Those ones are kind of shaped like little crunchy nuggets, I guess, instead of the flat like senbei shape. So let's pull something else out of here. Tea made from organic matcha stems for a rich aroma and balanced flavor. So yeah, I think technically the category of this tea is hojicha, because it's like a roasted tea. Yeah, I guess this specific type of hojicha is called baocha. That's my understanding. So I'm looking forward to trying that. But for now, I have my jasmine pearls. I don't know about you guys, but I really love floral tea. But it's funny, the other day I went to like my local bubble tea place. I got a sakura rose flavored bubble tea and it was really good. I've gotten like the sakura rose flavor before. It's one of my favorites. But like the girl who was making the bubble tea at the counter, she was talking to like another set of customers that came in and she was like, yeah, like it tastes like soap. And I'm like, okay, I don't think it tastes like soap, but good for you, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like this super strong smell of like actual soaps that are floral, but I like perfumes and stuff that have like a little bit of a floral hint to them, not like super overpowering. But yeah, I just think it's funny that she like said that like right in front of me as like I'm enjoying it and drinking it. And so I just like walked by and I'm like, I don't know, I think it's pretty good. And I just left. So I really like floral things. What else do we have in here? Ooh, these two are these cakes. They are Earl Grey and Gorojima. I don't know what Gorojima is actually. They're kind of pretty thick. They definitely feel like they're gonna be like dense and sweet. Again, this is the sort of thing that I think you would have like one of these, possibly even sharing them. But I wouldn't eat both of these at the same time probably, but they look good. I really like Earl Grey tea because I also really like citrus teas and stuff like that. The Gorojima cake is infused with the rich flavors of kaga vegetables and sweet potatoes, while the other is made using Noto black tea for its refined taste. Oh, interesting. Oh, it says Ganburo Ishikawa, I think. I can't read the kanji, but I'm pretty sure that's what that says. Yeah, I think this is the Earl Grey one. Yeah, I really need to practice katakana more. So the cards that I'm looking at Anki are kanji and hiragana, and like I can read hiragana really well. I can read a few hundred kanji, but like I've been encountering katakana so infrequently that I keep like forgetting it, which feels really stupid. So I need to do something about that. This is the other one. Honestly, I guess we'll find out. If I'm wrong, I guess it'll be very interesting. Oh my god. It is like a little sweet potato. Look at this. This is so cute. This is a Noto sweet potato from Iwazumi. And it says, crafted in Noto for over 50 years, these sweet potato confections reflect the region's heartfelt traditions. Made from carefully selected sweet potatoes and beans, they feature a hint of kelp and warm cinnamon. Yeah, I think in the US, our snacks are usually sweet or savory. There's sometimes like a sweet and salty, but it's usually just salt and then some sweet flavor like caramel or something. We don't usually have these sort of like savory flavors mixed with things that are sweet, even if it's just like a hint. I feel like there's this sort of culinary maturity in places like Japan and some other countries where they're like not afraid to try different combinations that turn out to be like really good and interesting. You never see that in the US, but this is what the sweet potato looks like. But yeah, it's so tiny, so small. All right, next. This is Kaga Shizuku rice candy from Yokoi Shoten in Ishikawa Prefecture. It's like these hard kind of sugar candies. It looks like it's made from Kaga Shizuku pears in the Ishikawa Prefecture. It's a tradition in Noto that's been crafted for almost 500 years, which is crazy to think about. 500 years is longer than the United States has been established, so it's just like mind-blowing. Yeah, that's just so exciting. I really think that's exciting, honestly, to try these things that are such deep cultural traditions that have lasted for so long and that people still enjoy. And I hope that things like these boxes do actually help in some way to keep these traditions alive. Because like one thing I saw recently on Instagram was, I'm not sure if it was from one brand or a few, but like a matcha company had signs in their stores that said they're not going to have any more matcha until what, like June 2025 or something. Tourists are just like buying it all out. That aspect of some things can be bad, but I think the idea of at least bringing some of these maybe like lesser known traditions to the forefront for people who wouldn't have known about them in the first place, I think that's cool if it can help kind of preserve those traditions. Yeah, I think it's this one, Kintsuba. Yeah, this one definitely says Kintsuba, but it's like very fancy, but I can read some of it, so I know that it says Kintsuba. Kintsuba is a traditional Japanese confection with sweet red bean paste encased in a crisp, lightly toasted crust. If you look inside of this, it has like red beans in it, and they're like whole red beans. I wonder if they're really soft or if they have like a little bit of a bite to them, maybe, but it says it has a toasted crust. So it seems like it'll be a nice experience. And again, this feels very dense, like it's very thick. So even though, I don't know, some people might think this is small, it's dense. It's very heavy, but it looks really good and interesting. And then the next one is like a grape jelly. Grape jelly. Okay, I can read that katakana. It says gurepu. 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 And it obviously says grape. I always, like, sometimes I try to read different wrappers, the kana that's on them, and then I realize somewhere else on the wrapper it just says it in Romanized letters. And I'm like, I swear I was reading the kana. Like, I actually was. This is what it looks like on a plate. I haven't tried a lot of jellies, honestly, like a fancy jelly. Another one is these candied walnuts. They're coated in cinnamon for a sweet and salty treat. But interestingly enough, it says that it may contain traces of shrimp. I wonder why. I'm just curious to see like how sweet they are compared to like the typical candied nuts that you'd get at like a carnival or something in the US. So really there's a lot of stuff that I get to try in this box. There's always more that you can learn, which is what really excites me about trying new things like this. I did want to mention a quick update about my Japanese language learning and kind of where I am with that. I started learning Japanese probably when I was in middle school. Like, I didn't really do anything with it, and then I didn't watch any anime for like several years. I ended up getting back into it during the pandemic. In my life, I've kind of like cycled through some things, but even when learning German, the writing system is easy to learn. There's only just like a few letters that are different. It's generally easy enough to read something. Like, you can read a word even if you don't know what it means, and maybe you can figure it out, but you can at least read the word, right? In Japanese, if you don't know what the kanji means, you're just out of luck. Each kanji can have so many different readings, so it's never just one way to say a character. That's just one of the things that makes Japanese so hard to start learning, because like you have to learn 46 hiragana to be able to read just regular hiragana. Then you have to do that again for katakana, and so that's already 100 characters that you have to memorize. Then you get to kanji, and to start reading some content to a decent extent, I guess, you need to know at least 1,500 kanji characters. When you hear about that, it's so overwhelming. One of the things that I've benefited a lot from was learning the pronunciation of that vocabulary word, how that kanji is pronounced within that vocabulary word, and only worrying about that until I encounter that kanji in a new word, and then I learn how it's pronounced in that word. And so far I found that more helpful. I wouldn't say that I still haven't found like my ideal study methods, I guess. Point is, there's a high learning curve to learning Japanese, and so for the longest time I just never quite got over that hurdle because of things like trying to learn all the readings for each kanji and failing at it because I didn't realize you didn't have to do that. Now I'm trying to do other things, like every day when I drive to work and back, I listen to Pimsleur lessons. I do that practice for speaking because right now I really need to do more speaking if I'm going to be living in Japan and speaking with people. Also starting to do more reading, and so I just got this novel, which if you're a Bleach fan, you may be familiar with it. If you don't know what it's about, the cover kind of gives you a hint, but it takes place after the Thousand Year Blood War arc, and this novel is only available in Japanese, so it's a Japanese novel. I'm somewhere between N5 and N4 right now, trying to get my shit together, basically. And so I'm sure this will be very difficult to read, but it's something that I really want to read because I really love Bleach. It was during the pandemic that I rewatched Bleach with my husband. I found Mr. Tomo's videos on YouTube, who does like really deep like lore stuff, and I just got really into it. So it's become my favorite anime. Now that I've read some of the light novels that are in English, I want to try to tackle this one. So I'm really excited to start reading that because I just got it the other day. That's just a little update on where things are for me. I originally had a plan to try to get to N3 by, I guess it would have been April 2026 that I was originally planning to go on this 1-year exchange, but it got brought back a whole year, which is like, yeah, I don't know if I can, I don't think I can make it to N3 before this April. I'm hoping to maybe get almost to N4 or slightly past N4, but I don't think it's possible for me to get to N3. So hopefully I can achieve that while I'm there in Japan and really spend as much time as I can learning Japanese while I'm in the country, getting that immersion. I'm sure I'll also find some things to do with some other foreigners that are there as well, other gaijin, so that I don't go completely insane. Because I've been in that situation before where I've lived in a different country, didn't speak the language. Like I did a little bit, I was trying, but after like 3 months being kind of stuck, I was like very overwhelmed in Macedonia when everyone was speaking Albanian and I couldn't read anything in Macedonian at first. That was very, very stressful. I feel like I'm way better equipped for it now. I'm gonna meet a bunch of people in December on this trip that can become good connections for me, and most of them, I believe, know English as well. So that'll be helpful. There is actually no language requirement for this exchange. So there are a lot of people who do this exchange in Japan where they know English, but they don't know any Japanese at all. I'm mostly doing this for my own benefit and because I would be less of a burden on people in general if I didn't have to have them translate everything. And that's just kind of like how I want to do things. But yeah, we'll see. I'm doing my best and it's very difficult with grad school. I'm gonna pause grad school, I think, while I'm in Japan, just because I don't think it makes sense to juggle all those things, especially if I end up having like group work for grad school in Japan when my classmates are like mostly in PST or somewhere else in the US. So it's just like, no. Anyway, let's get back to the box because there's only a few things left in here. There's 2 of them in the box. It is a choco pie. I don't know what the formal definition of choco pie is, but the ones that I'm familiar with are like covered in a layer of chocolate and have like marshmallow in them and stuff like that. So this is definitely different, but probably in a good way, I would say. Flaky layers of pastry, a light dusting of sugar, and a rich chocolate filling. That is very different from what I know of choco pies. And then we have hojicha kinako mochi, and filled with a subtly sweet hojicha, or roasted green tea, filling. And these look very similar to other mochi that I've had, but I don't think I've had hojicha flavor mochi before. My husband really likes mochi, so I'm sure he'll be happy to try these. The last thing in this box is a pair of chopsticks. So I got the ones with the blue design. This is what it looks like on the page. There's also a red design. I got the blue one. Yeah, these are really beautiful. So I think it'll be nice to enjoy using these chopsticks to eat some of these treats. Now that we've emptied this box, now is the really exciting part. If you're not familiar with this month's special gifts, they are lacquerware. I got the 6-month one because I'm going to Japan in roughly 6 months. So yeah, I gotta be careful opening this. I can see that the gift is in like a separate box as well, which is nice because then I get another nice box. Yeah, I always like having those boxes around so that I can prepare nice gifts for people, especially if I'm gonna do something like furoshiki. Alright, so here's the box. So for the 6th month, we have a little note in here. There are some cranes, and so let me take it out of the box very carefully. And it's nicely wrapped in paper. And it is a lacquerware box with gold cranes on them. And wow, this is so beautiful actually. It's like a vermilion reddish orange color. So I can take off the lid and maybe show you a little bit closer so I don't drop the whole box. You can see that. The detail on this is really beautiful. I really love this. Okay, so there's 2 tiers to this box. Made in Japan, Yamanaka on the back. So I guess it's probably Yamanaka lacquerware, I think. So it's a 2-tier lacquerware box that is just so beautiful. Wow. So I guess technically this is kind of like a bento box situation. Either way, I'm just so stoked to have this box because it's such a beautiful box. Like, it's funny, I was talking about how like the box that it came in with the orange lid, that itself is like a nice box, and then the box that everything else came in is a nice box. And now I have yet another box. A little box for my trinkets. Probably not trinkets in here. I don't know what I'm gonna use this box for. I guess it's for food. So maybe if I make some food to share with people, I will put it in this box. I've inadvertently started a tradition for my department at work. During our staff meeting, someone brings like snacks or drinks from their culture. Well, I guess for mine, I didn't bring it from my culture. It was kind of my husband's culture that I've adopted, which I brought Turkish coffee and tea. After that, we had a group of people bring in Indian spiced chai tea, and they also had like samosas and stuff, which was really good. Tomorrow, actually, our staff meeting, we're gonna have Taiwanese tea. But yeah, it's been a really fun tradition, so maybe next time, because I think after myself and my Japanese colleague come back from Japan this December, you know, we're gonna do another tea time, so maybe I can bring stuff in here and that'll be really fun. I just really enjoy sharing like nice culture with different people. I think part of it is that as an American that has, I guess, technically a few different ethnicities, all white, I guess, but none of that stuff has really been passed down to me. My grandmother, her parents were from Poland, so she was like first generation American here. So she had much closer ties to Poland, and she was fluent in Polish. She didn't live very close by. And then my other grandparents either didn't celebrate their heritage, or one of my grandmothers actually died the year before my sister and I were born, so never met her. And so I don't know, I've just never had any sort of connection to any of my own culture. My last name is not Jetzt, that means now in German, but I do have some Luxembourg heritage, and like my last name is German in some way. Because of that, I feel slightly connected to it, especially when I was learning German. I don't feel like I have any personal culture of my own, so I just always find it interesting to learn about other cultures, be respectful of them, and, you know, appreciate them. And so I hope that sharing this unboxing with you guys and just kind of like chatting about these things was enjoyable. If you like it, genuinely please let me know in the comments, just so I know like if I should bother making another one, even if it's just like 1 or 2 people. Like, it's kind of fun to do. Just let me know, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!